Hey, hi, hello, and welcome. It is, well, not before June anymore. I'm filming this after playing the game, so I've already been reading the TBR that I picked. But anyway, it's time for my June TBR game. As you'll see in the first clip, I have redone my board, hoping it's a little bit nicer as the months go on, but we'll see. So I'm going to put the clip here of, well, not right here, I'm going to keep talking for a minute, but I'm going to show you the clip of my rolls. And then once we've gone through all my roles and talking about my books for that, I will be talking about some required reads that I have that may not have made it onto the TBR and books for the amazing readathon that I am participating in as a part of Team Gale Weavers. And I'll talk more about that after the game. Now, let's get to the part of the game that I know you're all excited for, the roles. Okay, so before I start, let's address the elephant in the room. This is a different board. Last month was kind of scary and it didn't go well. So some changes. As you can see, there's only one scary spot, but my plan is for future months, if I do not finish a TBR, I will roll a d20 and put in another scary space. And if I clear a TBR, then that will get removed. But we're not going to worry about that right now because we're going to count this as brand new. The blue, green, and red spaces all have the same meaning. And because I accidentally added so many squares, the purple squares are you don't have to do anything. So it's just a space where I can sit, breathe, and move on. So I've got my little mover on here. Let's see, roll number 1. 2. 1, 2. I get a free pick. So we start off nice. For my first roll, I ended up with a free pick. And I'm going to be choosing The Games Gods Play. I'll put the cover over here. But this book fills an amazing prompt. And I've heard a lot of good things about it from a lot of people that I'm close with or a lot of people that I watch online. And that sounds so creepy, but you know what I mean. But I'm excited to see this one through and get it on the TBR this month. All right, roll number 2. A 1. Red square, a book I know nothing about. For my next pick, as you see, we landed on a red space, and the card I drew was a book I know nothing about. So for this, I'm going to be using I, Medusa by Ayanna Gray. I received an ARC of this through NetGalley, and I'm pretty excited about it. I love anything Greek retelling. I love the story of Medusa, and I'm excited to read this and see where it goes. I also will be doing this as a buddy read with Tori over at Tori Between Pages, and I'm really excited to experience that with her as well. Roll number 3. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A free-ish space, so we're going to roll again. 3. 1, 2, 3. Another red card. Book with an adaptation. And then I landed on another red space, and I got book with an adaptation. So this could be a movie, a TV show, a play even. And I am going to be doing a reread for this because I've been thinking about this book a lot lately. I've been thinking about the movie a lot lately. And that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I figure it's Pride Month. It's the perfect time to reread this and explore this world that I love so much and revisit these characters that I haven't seen in a while. Roll number 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another red card. A book you've been putting off. My roll after that was a book that I have been putting off. And for this I have chosen Stuck With You by Allie Hazelwood. This is the second novella in her Steminist novella series. And I read both the first and the third in the month of March. And it's now June and I haven't read it yet. So I would argue that that qualifies as putting it off. So I will be adding that to the TBR. Thankfully, it's like 100-something pages. Roll number 6. another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is another roll again. So roll 7, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get a blue card, an audiobook. After that, I rolled and got a blue space and I got an audiobook, which I don't have the best track record with audiobooks, but I'm going to give it a shot, and I really like this author and this series, so I think it's going to work out just fine. But the book that I am using for my audiobook is Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and I've been wanting to read it for a couple months, but it hasn't happened yet. I unlocked the audio with Everand, and we're going to have a good time with it. And then I'm jumping right into my next pick because somehow the footage got lost, but I didn't want to cut the pick because then when you see the final, you'll see I was on a different space. Anyway, I rolled again and I landed on a green space, which is free space. And in the spirit of sequels, I will be reading Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I read Phantasma in April, and I've heard that a lot of people like this one better. I've also heard a lot of people like Phantasma better. I guess it depends on who you talk to. But I'm excited to read this one and see which side I fall on. Next roll is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. TBR complete. Now we are going to talk a little bit about the Amazing Readathon. The Amazing Readathon is a competitive team-based readathon with a non-competitive option hosted by Bree over at Four Paws in a Book. I will be joining the Gale Weavers team, which is hosted by Mel Lenore Reads and Claire's Neverland of Books. And I'm very excited to participate in this readathon. We're on day 3 as I'm filming this, and I'm having a great time so far. The vibes are amazing, and you can tell Bree put a lot of love and work into it. And it's just really awesome to see what she's created. But Bree has dropped all 10 travel prompts for the Amazing Readathon already, and I have made a pile of possibilities of what books I'm going to read for each prompt. Most of them, I think every book on my TBR made it onto this list, and then there's a couple extras because I only got 6 on my TBR, and there's 10 prompts. The first prompt is a cozy or comfort read. I will be using Swift and Saddled because I'm quickly becoming a cowboy romance girly, and that universe was cozy to me. The next prompt is with a romance, and I could use pretty much any book in the world for this, but I'm going to be using Red, White, and Royal Blue because this will also get bonus points because of it being an LGBTQIA plus novel. So move that over there. The third prompt, which has already dropped because the month has started. But the third prompt here is a book with a green cover, which I am using the greenest book I've ever seen, Stuck With You by Allie Hazelwood. And yeah, the cover's green. There's not really much to go on there. But after that, we have a book with low ratings that you think you'll love. And I am doing The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane. I think it's around a 3.5, 3.6. I was looking for books that had a trial and competition element because that is the bonus prompt for my team this month. And since The Pucking Wrong Number is about hockey, that's a trial or competition, so I will get bonus points for that as well. Next is Set in a Large City. And for now, I have put I, Medusa as this prompt because I have seen that it takes place in Athens, which is a large city. Even if it does take place in a past setting, Athens is still large. So I think it works. Next is a violent word in the title, and I am doing House of Bane and Blood, thinking of both Bane and Blood as violent. I know nothing about this book other than everyone I talk to has read it, and I've been getting yelled at to read it. So the time has come, and I'm hopefully going to read it as long as the leg with that drops after June 17th when it becomes available on Kindle Unlimited again. Then we have a celestial or godly word in the title, which I will be taking this right on the nose and using the Games Gods Play. because obviously the word gods is godly. The next prompt is a book that is shorter than the last book you read. Now, I could have left this blank and been like, I'll decide when the prompt drops to see what the last book I read was, but I liked having the idea of having one that was just ready to go. So I picked up The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket. I read The Bad Beginning last month, and it reminded me just how much I enjoyed this universe and how absolutely ridiculous it is. And with how little it is, it's pretty much going to be shorter than anything else I pick up this month, except Stuck With You. It's the only book I think I have that is longer than this one. Next is Over the Top Cover, and I will be doing Enchantra. She's extra. There's nothing more I can say than the fact that this girl is extra, and I'm very excited to jump in and engage with this book, which I've already talked about a little bit. And the final prompt is a book with a chilling cover or a winter setting. And for this, I have chosen Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I'm very excited for this one. I've heard good things from everyone that I watch, everyone that I talk to, and it's one that if it didn't fit a prompt, I would be doing my darndest to get it on a list anyway and trying to read it this month. Because Direbound is also the Patreon read-along for Mel this month. So I haven't participated in one yet because the reading cards just haven't fallen that way, but I think this is the one. But wait, there's more. I also have a couple of required reads for this month. The first is Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub. I'm very excited to read this. I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people. If you want to hear someone talk about this book, you should really check out Claire at Claire's Neverland of Books, because her descriptions of this are what made me want to pick it up, and specifically the fact that she calls it unhinged. I'm supposed to be doing a buddy read of this with Katie at I Would Rather Be Reading, and she has DNF'd it. So it'll be interesting to see how our first buddy read together goes, considering I haven't started the book and she's already decided she's not finishing it. Another required read that I have is A Fate Forged in Fire, and that is for the Not So Indie Book Club. I'm very excited to read that. I have Air of Fire and Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. That is for Tori's Discord. We're reading one Throne of Glass book each month, and I didn't get to Air of Fire last month, and I want to stay on track, so I'm going to try to read both of those at some point in all of the ample spare time that I clearly have. I also have The Night and the Moth, which is a book that is chosen for the Tortured Readers Book Club run by Katie and Rainey at Rainy Blue Reads. And that is also the book for Heather at Books and Heather's Patreon read-along for this month, or Patreon book club, one of the two. I joined a lot of book clubs that I want to participate in, so I have a lot of books to read. And then my final read that is required this month is Rebel Witch by Kristen Sicarelli. I am doing this as a buddy read with my friend Jamie. She asked if I wanted to after I finished Heartless Hunter in a day. And I'm very excited because I really liked the first book. And from what I've heard, you don't want to wait too terribly long to jump into this one. So I'm going to be jumping in and hopefully having a blast. I didn't want a huge TBR. And for the game, I only have 6 that I have to read. But I have ended up with about 15 books on the TBR for June. But only 6 will determine if I have to add a Danger Zone space to my board. But yeah, so it's a chunky boy. I'm very excited about it, though. I don't expect to complete all the books because I have 2 grad school classes also going right now. The school year is wrapping up, so I have a bunch to do there. Life is just crazy bananas right now, which is also why there hasn't been a whole lot of content until now. But I'm going to try to get back on that as well because I enjoy recording and talking to you guys and just engaging with the community in this way. That was my TBR, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you could like and subscribe and all those fun things that make YouTube what it is, I would really appreciate it. And I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world. See you next time.